Hare Krishna. So we thank you so much for attending. Um, Now we'll be going through a few verses of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, the biography of Lord Chaitanya. We'll invoke the presence of the Lord by chanting a small prayer. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Nitya Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Shri Chaitanya Charitamrta ki. Jai. This is not something I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing it because Mother Sucharya is missing in action. So, please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So, we will read from chapter 12, the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. So what should we read? Verse 151. So how does this happen now? Okay. So this is from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta Madhya Lila, chapter 12, cleansing of the Gundicha temple. A very, very wonderful chapter. And I believe there is in the Chaitanya Mangal, the Chaitanya Bhagavad, the Vrindavan Das Thakur has explained this. This incident has been described in detail by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Therefore, I have described it only in brief. So Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami is kind of paraphrasing, is kind of describing a little bit of how this event is taking place. Okay. So text 151. तबे महाप्रभु क्षणैक विश्राम करिया स्नान करि बारे गेला भक्तगण लाना. So what, this is 3 times or just keep going? Okay. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. After taking rest, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the devotees departed to take their baths. Then do I read the Bengali or just keep doing the English? Yeah, let's do the English. After bathing, the Lord stood on the bank of the lake and put on dry garments. After offering obeisances to Lord Nrsimhadev, whose temple was nearby, the Lord entered a garden. So then you guys read also? Yeah, just read. You have a mic there, so.
In the garden, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat down with the other devotees. Vaninath Raya then came and brought all kinds of Mahaprasad.
So this Vaninath is, I believe, one of the, I guess he's a storekeeper in Jagannath Puri. So it's been described in the past how he's been very favorable to all the devotees. And so there is the Mahaprasad of the devotee of the Lord that is distributed to all the storekeepers after it's been distributed to devotees, and then because they have a lot of it, he's brought some out.
Kashi Mishra and Tulasi, the superintendent of the temple, brought as much as prasadam as 500 men could eat. Seeing a large quantity of the prasadam, which consisted of rice, cakes, sweet rice, and variety of vegetables, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very satisfied.
Among the devotees present with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhu.
Acharyandini Dithi, Shivasa Thakura, Gadadhara Pandita, Sankara Nandanacharya, Rachava, and Pandita and Bakreshvara were also present.
Receiving the permission of the Lord, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya sat down. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all his devotees sat on the raised wooden seats.
In this way, all the devotees sat down to take their lunch in consecutive lines, one beside the other.
Okay. Caitanya Mahaprabhu would proceed calling her Dasa, and that the Dasa, standing in the distance, spoke as follows.
Haridasa Thakur said, "Let Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu take his lunch with the devotees. Since I am admonable, I cannot sit down among you."
Govinda will give me prasadam later, outside the door. Understanding his mind, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not call him again.
Swarup Damodar Goswami, Jagadananda, Damodar Pandit, Kashishwara, Gopinath, Vaninath, and Shankara distributed prasadam, and the devotees chanted the holy names at intervals.
Lord Sri Krishna had previously taken his lunch in the forest, and that very pastime was remembered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Just by remembering the pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was agitated by ecstatic love, but considering the time and circumstance, he remained somewhat patient.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "You can give me the ordinary vegetable known as lapra vyanjana, and you may deliver to all the devotees better preparations like cakes, sweet rice, and amrita gutika."
Purport by His Divine Grace. Lafriya Vanjana is a combination of several green vegetables, all mixed together. Mother Anuradha, do you know what this is? Lafriya Vanjana? Lafra. Yeah, with mustard oil. Panchapuran. It is often mixed with rice and delivered to poor men. Devdarshan Prabhu is anxious to taste it, but it's only delivered to poor men. He doesn't qualify. Amrita Gatika is a preparation of thick puri mixed with condensed milk. I think this is the malpua. Have you had malpua? Jagannath Puri? Fantastic, isn't it? It is also known as Amrita Rasavali. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshush Unmilitanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We'll read further, but I just wanted to kind of, this is such a wonderful situation here, if you really think about it, right? The Lord Himself is sitting down to have prasadam, and it kind of shows us what we need to do when we are having prasadam. So we have read Nainamrita, what happened first? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sitting in a garden, yes, and then all the devotees are there, and then what happens? You just read it. The first thing he takes a bath, right? And then the devotee will bring all kinds of Mahaprasad. Yes. Enough to feed 500 people. Yes, very fantastic. And it's not just simple, it's all kinds of rice and vegetables and cakes and sweetmeats. And then what happens? The devotees first take permission of the Lord to sit, to have prasadam. But before even that happens, there is a bunch of devotees that decide we are going to distribute prasad. Yes, we are distributing this Mahaprasad. So any event, anything that happens between devotees is not so much. It's a community activity. It's a coming together activity. It is not just I'm going to now have prasadam situation, right? And so sweet, so sweet. So receiving the permission of the Lord, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya sat down. So why Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always considered him to be his senior, right? So definitely he was offered a seat first to sit because he's the senior most. So that's another thing we need to know, right? Anyone, whenever we have prasadam, the first people that go are the senior devotees. Seniors in general, elderly, need to be offered first. And what would the seniors do then? They first take permission of the Lord. Yes, it's not that the seniors feel, oh, I'm so great, now I have to sit because the Lord is asking me to sit. No, they are still maintaining their very humble position, saying that we're not qualified, but because we are asked to do this, by your permission we will sit. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also calls in the distance there is who? Haridas Thakur. Right? That's even sweeter. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling Haridas! Something like that. Yes, come, take prasadam. Yes. So that's also very, very, very instructive. That it is the duty of the grihastha. The first thing that they do is to invite everyone. The first call out. What is that? What happens for a grihastha when they're actually taking prasadam? What is the required modus operandi? Yeah, Tulsi Sakhi Mataji is saying you have to go outside and call very loudly. Is anyone hungry? Do you do that, Nainanvita? What about you, Jaishna? You're not a grihastha yet. Stay brahmachari. You on the other end. So you call out, is there anyone hungry? And if anyone is hungry, you invite them home and you offer them prasadam. Before you eat, not after. Not just the leftovers. We eat the leftovers. Yes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling out, Haridas, please come, please take a seat. And what is Haridas doing? Yes, which is even sweeter. He's saying, no, I cannot come. Why was Haridas not coming? Do you know? Yeah. So during that time, because Haridas was born in a Mohammedan family, he was by caste, by his birth, not allowed to enter the temple of Lord Jagannath or to be around the devotees of Lord Jagannath, to the extent that even if a shadow fell on one of the priests of Lord Jagannath, they would consider it to be abominable. And so he always stayed in a distance. And he never considered himself. Now think about this. Lord Chaitanya himself is calling Haridas. Yes. If Kalachanji, yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling you, Padma Sakhi, come take prasadam. Would you think yourselves to be very dignified? By name. Yes. You think yourself to be, the Lord recognizes me. And would you say, no, I'm not coming? Yes. This is the qualification of a devotee who actually deserves the Mahaprasad of the Lord. That he does not consider himself to be qualified to receive the Mahaprasad of the Lord at all. Yes. And if we don't have that mood, the Mahaprasad is not going to take effect at all. Well, I wouldn't say at all, but the effect will be minimized. Yes. So, this is very, very sweet. And then just to pacify Lord Chaitanya, he said, don't worry, I'll eat. What happens usually that this was the system that they had set up, because Lord Chaitanya was very concerned about Haridas Thakur's meals. Whenever prasad was offered to Lord Chaitanya, Govinda would take whatever was remaining, the remnants, and offer it to Haridas. The Haridas used to stay in a separate place further away from the temple, and Lord Chaitanya used to visit Haridas every single day, which is also very instructive again, because we see that, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that everyone goes to see the Lord, but the Lord goes to see his devotee. Yes. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Jagannath himself, Gaura say Krishna, say Jagannath. Yes. So he himself used to go out and visit the Lord. So visit his devotees. And that is basically how things work in Krishna consciousness, that we don't ever feel that we deserve anything, let alone the Mahaprasad of the Lord. And the Lord himself makes arrangements so that we receive his mercy. And so then you will see that the Lord's personal servants, Lord Sarup Damodar Goswami was his personal associate. Yes. He is Lalita. Yes. Is that right, Mother Paraprapriya? Sarup Damodar is Lalita and Ramananda Rai is Vishaka? One or the other, yeah. Different opinions on that, yeah. But, that's true. That's true. There's several personalities in one person, but still a very, very qualified personality, yes. Personal associate of Lord Chaitanya, that much we definitely know. He was the one who was making sure that, anyone, anything, if someone has to present a certain philosophy, it has to go through Swarup Damodar Goswami. He will make sure that it is properly done to be presented to Lord Chaitanya, whether it's a poetry or an essay. Jagdananda Pandit, Damodar Pandit, Kashishwar Pandit, Gopinath Acharya, Vaninath and Shankara distributed prasadam. So the most qualified of the devotees were doing what? They were distributing the prasadam. They were not sitting and saying, okay, we'll have prasadam first. No, they were distributing prasadam. And the devotees chanted the holy names at intervals. Yes. Not that they were discussing other things. Yes. So when the Mahaprasad of the Lord is non-different from Krishna himself. Yes. It is Krishna. Yes. I forget the verse. But they chanted the holy names at intervals. And Lord Chaitanya remembered Krishna taking, we have a picture of that over there. Do you see that? Does everyone see that? That he had taken prasadam with his devotees in the forest. Just like that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is sitting and taking prasadam. And just by remembering the pastimes of Lord Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was agitated by ecstatic love. But considering the time and circumstances, he remained somewhat patient. That's also super instructive. That the Lord never, the devotees will never show their ecstasy except in a situation where they are surrounded by those that can understand that thing. Yes. You'll see that several times in Srila Prabhupada's pastimes also, that very rarely he would show his internal ecstasies. And when he did, he would try to control them as much as he can. Then he would ask devotees to do kirtan. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I don't want all this. The opulence, most opulent of prasadam, please give to all the other devotees. Yes. I won't take all the chapatis, I won't take all the paneer, I will not all take all the sweets because I'm first in line. Because of course it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so devotees are very eager to serve him first. He said, no, I'll just take some mixed vegetable sabji which is only fed to poor men. It's like, in our Mahaprasad we make this rice and dal or a chutney or something like that. And it's like, okay, that's just for the poorest of people. And I'll take that, that's plenty, that's nutritious, that's got everything, and it's the Mahaprasad of the Lord. I don't need all the opulent stuff. Yes. So, even in this very small pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very instructive in how we should be accepting the Mahaprasad of the Lord. In general, we should be accepting of any opportunity that we get to serve. Yes. So this time I'd like to stop, but before that, I'd like to ask if anyone remembers the Mahaprasadam prayers. Mahaprasade Govinde? No? No one remembers the prayers? They don't want to? Okay, let's do it together. Okay? One line at a time. Okay. Mahaprasade Govinde. What does that mean? Pay obeisances to Mahaprasad from Govinda. Okay. Mahaprasad is Govinda. Okay. Getting closer, yes. Nama, Brahmana, Vaishnava. Yes. What does that mean? Huh? And I'm not saying I know the translation, that's why I'm asking.
Obeisances to Brahmanas and Vaishnavas.
Yeah. Yeah. So Nama is what? The names of Krishna. Namo, no, it's not Namo, it's Nama. You can pull it up if you wanted to. It's not Namo Brahmana Vaishnava. It's Nama, the name of Krishna. Huh? Yeah, yeah. So if you don't have swalpa punya, so you don't have enough piety, you will not have faith in these three. Yes, which means you will not have faith in the Mahaprasad of the Lord. Is there a full translation of that someplace? So alpa punya. There's if you don't have even little bit of piety, if you have a little bit of piety, you're in good shape. Otherwise, we don't have faith that the Mahaprasad of the Lord, the names of the Lord, the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas are worshipable. Yes. Is there a translation? Yeah, go for it. O King, for those who have amassed very few pious activities,
their faith in Mahaprasad, in
Their-
Sri Govinda,
their faith in Mahaprasad, in Shri Govinda,
in the holy name,
in the
and,
holy names,
and in the Vaishnava,
and in the Vaishnavas,
is never born.
is never born. So when we are singing, we should be very, very conscious of this fact. Yes. Then what happens? Then we sing the rest of it. This is from the Mahabharata. Yeah. I don't know which parva of the Mahabharata we are talking about, but it's maybe someone can do some research if one is interested. Then we say, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur comes in, right? Then we say, Sharira Avidya Jal. What is Sharira Avidya Jal? Quick, this is easy. Sharira is body, Avidya is ignorance, Jal is network. Yes, the body is a network of ignorance. Yeehaw! Yes. Sharira Avidya Jal, Jadendriya. Jada Indriya. What is Jadendriya? Jada is not, it's ignorant. Jadendriya. Yeah. I'm sorry, Madhya. Dull. Yes, dull. Very dull. Indriyas our senses are very dull. Yes. Jadendriya tahekal. Jive fele vishaya sagare. What is vishaya? Material world. The living entity is struggling in this ocean of vishaya. Vish is poison. Yes, and vishaya is what we call, I guess, meaning in one sense that, but it's the purpose in which we live in the material world is pretty much poisonous. Yes. Yeah, our dull senses are throwing us in these and is entangling us in this ocean of material suffering. Taramade jibha ati. So out of these indriyas, jibha, what is jibha? Tongue is the most voracious. Lobhomai, sudurmati. What is that? Yeah, mati is intelligence or consciousness. And durmati is dull, it's and sudurmati, like major. Wicked. Yeah, absolutely. We should make a movie, Sudurmati. Maybe people will come watch that instead of wicked. We call it Sudurmati. Full of greed. Yes, full of greed. And Sudurmati. It's wicked. Take jeta kathina sansare. Yes, so it makes life miserable. But then, Krishna bada doyamai. Krishna is so merciful. What does he do? What is the next verse, next line? What does it mean? I see. Okay, is that how it is translated? It's very difficult to overcome. Conquer. Yeah, to overcome the senses, specifically the tongue, is who's extremely wicked. and full of greed is very, very difficult. Yes. But Krishna, bada doya. Krishna is very, very merciful. Yes. What does he do? So then he makes the tongue very happy. Yes. By doing what? Swaprasad anna dilobai. Swaprasad anna. By his, the anna of the mercy he gives. Say annamrita pao. Annamrita, the nectar of prasad. Radha Krishna Gunagao. This is what's happening in this. So when we are, yes, that by as soon as we have this prasadam, we start singing Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai. Soon as we have prasadam, we don't sleep. That is not the desired effect. Yes. And in that ecstasy we also chant, pray with love we chant Caitanya Nitai. Yes. So we have to be super conscious about the effect of Mahaprasad and why we have Mahaprasad. So we'll stop here. Is that okay? And is there any comments, concerns, questions? Anyone? No? Is that what happens? Usually we stop. And then. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. We are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrta that he only ate in the houses of brahmanas who were born in a brahmana families. And even though we see that they were pure devotees above the whatever these
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did say, and maybe I'm interjecting before you finish your point, that he will only eat at a person who is I think is Lakshapati or something, and who has 100,000. He's only 100,000. And so the devotees said, we are poor Brahmanas, we're poor devotees, we don't have. He said, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 100,000 names of Krishna. Every single day who's at least chanting 100,000 names of Krishna. That's the person who I will eat prasadam at. So 100,000 is close to 64 rounds. Yes. 25,000 is 16 rounds. If you count each and every word to be one word name of Krishna. Isn't it 64? Isn't it 64? 100,000 is 64? Yes. Is that right?
16 on 25,000.
25,000, something like that. So. Please continue.
Also, there were these devotees from different provinces, different places, who weren't born in Brahmana families, so they just brought prasadam from Jagannath and invited Lord Chaitanya there. So Lord Chaitanya, even what is that? Followed the kind of culture, just the culture there.
Yeah.
Even if even later on, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur basically, gave from initiation to whatever.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, the culture of
interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting that Lord Chaitanya is very sensitive to the etiquette and the culture of the land that one is in. At the same time, Sri Chaitanya, later on we see that there are so many instances that Lord Chaitanya accepts prasadam from those who have a pure heart. At different places and different circumstances, but depending on the time and circumstance, we have to be very conscious of this, of the etiquette of the place that we are in. And Srila Prabhupada really opened that up considerably in terms of, who's a Brahmana and the definition of a Brahmana, and then essentially making people into Brahmanas by his own purity. Yeah, to bring the Brahmanical culture. In one sense, that is what the Krishna consciousness movement is, to actually bring the culture of Vaishnavism, which is much higher than that of even Brahmanical culture in one sense. Not just the mode of goodness, right? We are essentially transcending that, but being very conscious of the highest category of Brahmanas who will, be very cultured in the acceptance of prasadam, in the acceptance of any particular situation. We were just discussing yesterday about, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation from, as a sannyasi, he very strictly followed the vows of sannyas. Yes, that, kept distance from talking to ladies. But at the same time, we also see that when he's at the Garuda Stamba and he allowed this Mataji to stand on his head to take darshan. So, depending upon the purity of the intention of those that are there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would make arrangements. At the same time, he was very careful in following this very strictly the Vedic culture, so that we keep our sanctity in a place where people would accept us as pure devotees. But he was also not ritualistic in his acceptance of a certain culture without understanding what the purpose of that particular ritual or particular following tradition is, for that matter. But thank you. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhu, for stepping in real time and taking the. Thank you for the class. I was just appreciating one point that you called out, is that Mahaprabhu was just seeing the devotees line up to honor, and he immediately was transformed to Krishna sitting in the forest, and he became ecstatic just thinking of that. So it's not like even they've honored prasadam, but just like seeing the devotees line up, he's going into ecstasy thinking,
Right.
oh, I'm sitting with my cowherd friends in the forest. So I found that like...
Yeah. And to actually see this happen and these are not all devotees, these are people that have just, of course they are in Jagannath Puri, so in one sense they are. At the same time, feeling very ecstasy to actually see others take prasad. Yes. That is the mood of a Vaishnava, is to be happy seeing others take prasad, and also remember that all of these living entities at some point of time were with Krishna in the forest, taking prasadam. Not just as in friends' bodies, but there you'll see there's grass and there's swans and there's deer and then there's all kinds of cows that are also grazing there. So they are also having prasadam in the midst of Krishna, and we should be happy to serve, be compassionate at one level, and also feel ourselves insignificant and accept the least minimum. But to see that, giving of Mahaprasad is more pleasurable to the senses because it gives pleasure to Krishna more than it gives pleasure to us. But and that helps us remember Krishna very wonderfully. Thank you. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Nitai Gaura Prema.